Okay, so I've been trying to record this now for about 10-15 minutes, and what I have learned is that it's a lot more awkward sitting down and talking to just your phone than I originally thought it was going to be. So shout out to all my favorite YouTubers that do this without feeling incredibly weird. So I'm just hoping that the longer I keep recording and talking to my phone, the less weird this is going to feel. Today I'm going to talk about my weight loss journey since I had my daughter Gracie. I had my daughter Gracie in August of 2017, so it was not an overnight thing. It has been very gradual. It has been stop and go. Really, it's just been extremely difficult for me. So I'm just going to kind of talk about what I've been through and how I am finally at a point where I'm losing the weight and what I'm doing. Sorry, my cat knocked the box over from where I was recording. So I just want to preface this by saying that I am not judging you or saying that I think that people who are in a specific weight aren't beautiful. That is in no way what I'm saying in this video. I'm just talking about my experiences and how I feel comfortable in my own skin, because that's the most important thing always, is that you feel comfortable in your own skin. And I haven't felt comfortable in my own skin really since I had my daughter, and that's been a really hard thing to struggle with. It's just been very difficult. So anyway, I have my dog locked in this crate right here because if I let her out into the living room, she will destroy the living room if I'm not in there. So she's in her house. So if you hear her crying over here, that's her. She's a 9-month-old lap puppy. So anyway, starting at the beginning. So before I had my daughter, and I had her when I was very young, so I had her when I was 23, which isn't incredibly young, but for a lot of people it is. I was in college. She wasn't planned. I am now married to her father, but we weren't at the time that I got pregnant. So before I got pregnant with her, I had always my whole life just been able to eat whatever I wanted and still stay around the same weight. It would fluctuate 5 or 10 pounds, but no matter what I ate, that was my body. And I realize now that was very lucky, but I also had very, very unhealthy eating habits. I had very unhealthy eating habits. Seriously. I had very unhealthy eating habits before having her, but I just never had to worry about it. When I got pregnant with my daughter in November of 2016, I weighed 140 pounds. I am 5'9", so for me that was pretty underweight. I never really weighed that. I just had been under a lot of stress. I was in college, so I really hadn't been eating as much as I typically did, so I was down to 140. Over the course of my pregnancy with her, I continued to just eat whatever because I had always done that and never really gained the weight. So I ate everything because you're pregnant and you want to eat everything that you can think of, and I just let myself. And that's one of my biggest regrets in my pregnancy, because during my pregnancy I gained 60 pounds and I had her at 37 weeks. So I was a little bit early and I weighed 200 pounds when I had her. And I thought after having her, I'm like, everybody tells you that if you nurse or if you breastfeed that the weight's just gonna fall right off and that you don't really have to worry about it. You know, the weight comes off. That's what everybody told me my whole pregnancy. Oh, just eat the cake, eat the donuts, eat the complete crap because the weight will just fall right off after. And at the time I wasn't thinking of, I should have been also thinking of the baby that was growing in my stomach and feeding her healthy things too. But I was just young and dumb, and I will not make that same mistake in my future pregnancies. But anyway, so after I had her in August of 2017, and I did breastfeed in the beginning, and I kept thinking, okay, I gained a lot of weight, so it's gonna just come right off. No. Whoever said that and no. I lost about 15 pounds. I weighed 185. That became after maybe 4 or 5 months after having her, I still weighed around 185, and that kind of became my normal weight. I was not dieting. I wasn't trying to lose the weight. If you've ever had a newborn, you know, I guess at least in my experience, it's so hard because all that you're thinking about is this new baby. You're not thinking about yourself. You're not thinking about your health. You're not thinking about anything. You're trying to navigate having a brand new baby. You're not sleeping. You eat when you can. It was just very hard. And so I wasn't thinking about that at the time. I had also gone through this time that really lasted for a long time where I felt like I was trying to rediscover who I was as a mother, and it was like I lost this sense of identity. It was like when she was born, there was this version of myself that I was before I had her, and then this new version of myself after her, and the two were not the same. And I think a lot of people experience that, or maybe I don't know, maybe it was just me, but I just had a hard time caring about eating healthy, and it just wasn't my priority at the time. After months and months went by, it was May of 2018, I was getting to the point, you're getting into more of a routine. My daughter was much older, not much older, but my daughter was a few months older. It was getting easier, and I just thought that seemed like a better time for me to try Weight Watchers. I decided to try Weight Watchers, and I thought, this is it, I'm gonna lose the weight. I felt committed, but I didn't feel like it was gonna be a lifestyle change. I don't know if that makes sense. I was looking at my goals as very short term. Like, I was thinking, I would just do Weight Watchers for 3 months and get right down to my pre-pregnancy weight and I would be okay. That's not how it works. My metabolism had changed, my body had changed. I started Weight Watchers, and if you don't know how Weight Watchers works, it's like a point system. So you get a certain amount of points and then you have weekly points. So with Weight Watchers, it was very, very easy to have cheat meals. Like every Friday night I would have a cheat meal, and I would just take that from my weekly points. I'd have a few glasses of wine and I would just take it from my weeklies. It was much easier. There was more leniency, I guess, in Weight Watchers, and if I really, really wanted something, I could just save my weeklies for it. And in a lot of ways, that was great, and for the time being, I loved it. And honestly, had I stuck with it, I do know that I would have reached my goals. So I'm in no way saying that Weight Watchers is not a great program. I think it is. In fact, I think I haven't reached my goal weight yet, but I'm contemplating doing Weight Watchers as maintenance once I've reached the goal because I'm currently doing keto. Because I do think that it allows you to kind of eat healthy but still live your life a little bit, if that makes sense. So anyway, I did Weight Watchers for 6 weeks. I had gone from 185, actually it must have been longer than 6 weeks, probably a couple months I did Weight Watchers, and I stuck with it. I tracked everything. And that's another difficult thing, is having to track every single thing that you're taking into your body, because if you don't, that's how you end up making mistakes, and you kind of lie to yourself a little bit and you say, oh no, I have these extra points, when in reality you don't. So I ended up, after we were living in Rhode Island at the time, and after a couple months I gotten down to 167, and that was the lowest that I had been since my daughter was born, and I felt excited about that. But my fiance at the time, now my husband, but my fiance and I and my daughter ended up moving from Rhode Island to Virginia Beach, because my parents live in Virginia Beach, and in Rhode Island I didn't have any family there, he didn't have any family there, so it was just difficult for us, and we needed the support of our family. Just making sure we're still recording, that would suck. So when we made that move, we got down here to Virginia Beach, and this was my mistake. I told myself that for the road trip I wasn't going to do Weight Watchers, and for the moving weekend I was not going to do Weight Watchers. I was just going to take the weekend off, not stress about it. I went crazy, everything, because I wasn't doing Weight Watchers that weekend, and I didn't feel necessarily guilty about eating the food, but I kept telling myself that I was going to start right back over as soon as we got settled in our house, which was supposed to only take a weekend. Well, I didn't. I completely fell off the wagon. I was off the wagon, didn't care about it, didn't think about it. I didn't track anything. Again, I didn't open my Weight Watchers app. That was it with me and Weight Watchers. And it was my fault, and I know that it was because, to be honest, I really don't know why. I just was not at a point where I was ready to make those permanent changes. And the longer that goes by with you eating like crap and not considering your health, like, the harder it is to start back. And it got to a point where I didn't want to get on the scale because I just didn't want to know, because ignorance is a bliss. And I had no desire to know what I weighed. I didn't want to think about it. I just wanted to enjoy. There's so many restaurants and like amazing places to eat in Virginia Beach, and I just wanted to enjoy all those places and enjoy the summer and just not think about it, because this was last summer. I just wasn't ready. Ultimately, that was the point. I just was not at a point where I was ready to make the changes that I needed to make to be healthy and happy, and I just wasn't there yet. And so as time went on, I continued to eat like crap. My fiance and I got married in October of 2018, and I didn't even have a desire to try to lose the weight for our wedding. I was just so unmotivated at the time, and just a lot of different things. Like, my whole life I've worked very hard. I've always worked 2 jobs while in college. I've been working since I was 16, and now this past year I was a stay-at-home mom. So it was so many other things too. It was like me not getting up and putting on makeup and having a purpose besides taking care of my daughter, of course. But she and I could just stay locked up, cuddled up on the couch, and time just went by and by where I would do that so that it didn't matter. I was just eating junky. I never saw people because I had just moved to a new area, so I didn't have friends here, just my parents. It was not a good time. And then, anyway, I got very sidetracked. But coming up to our wedding, most people, of course, you're planning for your wedding, you just want to feel your best and look your best. And I didn't have a desire to do that. I just wanted to live in our little bubble. And my wedding day was the second best day of my life besides my daughter being born. And I loved the day, and I felt beautiful. I felt like a princess. But when we got the pictures back, I didn't love the pictures because I didn't love the way that I looked in the pictures. I saw myself, and I saw somebody that looked very different than the me that I had always pictured walking down the aisle, that looked very different than the me that I had pictured all these things with. And that was really hard for me, because all of a sudden I see this person in the pictures, and I wanted to love the photos so much, and I did, and I'll cherish them forever for the rest of my life. And I don't mean to sound like I hate my pictures or that I looked horrible, because that's not how I felt, but it just was not the me that I wanted to be, mentally and physically. And that was hard. So, of course, then after October, you keep making excuses, because that's what we do sometimes when we get off track. And I just told myself, okay, here come the holidays. I want to enjoy the holidays. And it's just, there's always something. All year long, there's always something. I want to enjoy the summer and eat and have the drinks that I want. I want to enjoy the holidays. There's always something all year long when you are avoiding doing what you need to do to lose the weight. So finally, at the end of 2018, after I had spent essentially all year just being a stay-at-home mom, and I love the time that I have gotten to spend with my daughter. There is nothing that I would trade it for. It has been magical in so many ways, and I have watched her. I'm her favorite person. Like, that's a bond that I wouldn't have, and I'm so grateful, because I know how many people would give anything to be able to stay home with their babies, and I'm so thankful that I had this time. But it was hard on me, and I have so much more respect for stay-at-home moms now, because I lost sight of who I was besides being a mom. And the thing is as a mom, you have to know that you can still be an amazing mother and still be a great version of yourself. But you have to know that you're not only a mother. You are other things too. And you have to remember that you're those other things too, and care about yourself to be those other things. I don't even know if any of this makes sense, but basically I had lost sight of who I was in 2018, and it was a very dark year, and I just didn't care. I was in a major brain fog. I had just graduated college with my degree in elementary education, and I was so anxious about going back to work, largely because I didn't like the way that I looked. And now I told myself, coming into 2019, I was like, this is it. I am changing this year. I refuse to let another year of my life go by, and a year of my daughter's life go by, where I don't love who I am, and that I'm not practicing healthy eating habits, because I want her to also practice healthy eating habits. And guess where she's going to learn that from me. And I just don't want her to grow up and think that it's healthy or good for her to just eat anything and everything that she wants, because I know I did that, and I don't want that for her. I want her to know what's healthy, and I want her to have energy all the time. And so I told myself on December 31st, I didn't even wait until January 1st. I was like, this is it. My mom, she lives literally less than a mile from me. So she and I together decided that we were going to start keto. And since I have started keto, I am like a whole different person. It's been, what's today? Oh, I don't have my watch on. I think today's February 11th. I think today's, no, maybe it's the 12th. I don't know. It's February, the middle of February. So I've been on this for 6 weeks. And when I started, I weighed 178.8 pounds. And this morning when I weighed 163.6 pounds. So I've lost a total of 15 pounds. But it's not about the weight. It is about the weight, don't get me wrong. I feel better physically, but I have so much more energy. I'm not just stuck on the couch all day. I am a better wife, I think. I'm a better mother to my daughter. And I'm not where I want to be. My goal is 150 pounds, and it'll be great to get there. But if I don't, it's okay. I'm enjoying this as a journey, and it doesn't matter how long it takes me, because this to me is going to be a way of life. I don't know that I'll stay keto permanently, but the healthy eating will be a way of life, and I know that, and I have seen that in myself, and it just feels completely different this time. It feels like I know that I'm making the changes that I need to make to be better for myself, for my husband, for my daughter, for everybody in my life, and it feels amazing. And I'm hoping to make more videos on this channel, and if so, I'll kind of share some of the things that I've been eating. And again, I'm not a doctor. In no way am I saying that this is the best way to lose weight. It may be for you, it may not be for you. I'm just telling you my personal experience. This is what it has been like for me. This has been my weight loss journey, and that's just it. It's a journey. This is not, you can't put it in your mind that this is it. I'm just gonna lose the weight in a couple months and then I can go back to my old ways. It doesn't happen fast, and it's not always easy. And for me, my daughter's 18 months old and I'm still not down to my pre-pregnancy weight, and that's okay. And I didn't think it was going to be this way. I thought that within a couple of months after having my daughter, I would be just right back to who I was, and it didn't work that way. And it's just so important to know that it doesn't work that way for everybody. For me, I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of moms on YouTube because I don't really have any other mom friends, and I feel like I can really relate with them. But so many of them are just these stunning, beautiful women, and they just bounce right back after a pregnancy, at least to outsiders looking in. I'm sure that they don't feel that way on the inside. I'm sure that, they have their own insecurities, and I'm not doubting that at all. But it just, I just want to put it out there that it's okay not to lose the weight right away, and it's okay if it takes time, and it's okay if you don't ever lose the weight. It's all about you feeling good about yourself and how you see yourself. And that's just like really what I've learned, is that everybody has told me that I looked great and all this time, but I didn't feel that way. And because I didn't feel that way, I didn't have the motivation to do my hair or my makeup or put clothes besides sweatpants on, and I didn't have the motivation to clean my house half the time or do anything besides just binge watch Netflix all day. And it was just a dark time, and I just want everybody to know that not everyone's journey is the same. Parenting is hard. Parenting is so hard. It is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, and I'm finally getting back to a point where I am trying to be a mother, but also be Rachel and be, how do I put this? I'm trying to be a mother and also have my own identity outside of that. I want to feel good about myself. I want to be confident, and at any weight you can be confident. That's absolutely the truth. There are so many plus size women that I think are absolutely stunning, but for me, it was more than the weight. It was just different things, and I felt horrible for so long. And so I'm so happy to have found keto and to have been doing it for this amount of time and have lost the weight that I have. With keto, you basically keep your net carbs below 20 grams each day. And I didn't start out at just jumping right into it and doing 20 grams of carbs and lower. And you of course take into account it's about eating healthy fats and protein as well. There's a specific ratio of carbs to proteins to fats that, and I'll put that on the screen if I can figure out how to do that when I'm editing, of how it is when you're on keto. And with that, so when I first started keto, I was pretty much doing low carb. So it was like very easy to start because I went from having horrible eating habits over the holidays to eating low carb. So I started out as low carb, and then over time, after a couple weeks doing low carb, I switched to keto, where I was keeping it below 20 grams of net carbs a day and tracking my macros and my fats and my proteins. I was losing weight low carb too, so it's really just whatever works for you. And then after a time, I started including some intermittent fasting. I try to at least like 5 days a week. I do a 16 to 8. So your eating window is 8 hours and you fast for 16. So usually I'll eat dinner at around 6, and then I won't eat again the next day until around 10 in the morning. That's my fasting window. But it wasn't that way in the beginning. You only do that when you don't really feel hungry. Once you become fat adapted, you don't feel hungry in those times. In the beginning, I was hungry when I woke up, so I would eat. I've never not eaten when I'm hungry. So it's been great. My mom holds me accountable and I hold her accountable, and that has been a major game changer. Just having somebody there on days, because everybody has days where you're like, oh, this is really hard. Oh crap, I gained a pound, or oh no, something happened. And it has been incredible to have my mom by my side and her to help me, because if it wasn't for her, I don't think I would have been able to do this. So I'm so thankful for her. And if you're deciding that you want to do something, I really suggest having somebody to help hold you accountable. And it's just important to remember that no matter where you are in your journey, it's okay. It's okay. You're doing great. And just, try and make healthier changes for yourself. If you're feeling major brain fog, it very well could be because, of your eating habits and things like that. And that was it for me. I feel so much more clear and level-headed and just like I can do things that I couldn't do before. And I'm very excited for what this next year is going to bring. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please, I sound like such a typical, I don't know how to say it, it's so weird. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment. I don't really have any subscribers putting this up. This is my first YouTube video. So I'd love to get to know you, and please just comment anything if you watch this. Hopefully at least one person watches this, probably my husband or my mom. Hi Mom, hi Oz. But hopefully more people do too. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.